the very, very first episode of KII CARRY, where we key.
And we carry.
And I'm Damon.
I'm Troy.
And this is our very, very first episode. Did I say that already? That it was our first episode?
Yes.
Okay.
Very first
well,
episode.
I'm nervous, y'all. We've tried this so many times, and it is... Technical errors have definitely fallen upon us. So, but yeah, this is our first episode, and we are going to review for the first episode GStatus ATL Hustle, season 2, episode 1. So this episode was called For the Record. And before we start off, we just want to let you know what we're sipping on. We definitely nothing fancy. Just a little barefoot Chardonnay. Very cheap. And yeah, we're here for it. Cheap but tasty. That's true.
Tasty.
Yeah.
Mix it with any orange flavored drink and it slaps.
Yes.
Absolutely slaps.
So, GStatus. What were your thoughts on this episode? Your first thoughts.
Honestly, the camera work, the shots.
Okay.
Like the shots were so clear.
Right.
Just the amount of effort that the production put into like the camera work, like the quality of the shots and how clear they were. That was the first thing that stuck out to me. And then all the shade.
Yes.
All the negativity, like the very first episode. I was like, whoa, if the show or the episode or the premiere episode is this like toxic, I wonder how the rest of the season is gonna follow. Right. Because if there's any other episodes that are like worse than this, it's like, whoa, absolutely love the show. Love the show. But
yeah.
What were your thoughts on the premiere?
No, I'll definitely agree with you. Like the first thing that I saw was the production. They definitely stepped their game up, especially the editors. Yeah. Definitely stepped their game up. Just they utilized slow motion, not too much, but they definitely knew when to use it. Because I feel like slow motion should be there to like kind of elevate the mood and really like add to things. Yeah. So I think like the editing was dope. The camera work was dope. Yes. They really stepped their game up, and that's what I really like to see with these shows. Like as the season goes on, you see like the improvement in the quality of the show. So definitely that. And then the shade, they definitely came out guns blazing. Like I was like, wow, like this is the show we know and love, I guess. And they are not gonna let us forget it. Like
I felt like the drama or the shade kind of overtook like kind of the characters. Like we were introduced to new characters, and then some recurring characters were brought back, but there was so much drama, and honestly I kind of forgot that there were new cast members just because that there was so much just shade being thrown around.
That's true. I think some shade was lighter than others. Yeah. I think we'll get to that scene I think you're referring to. But so we're gonna do this review a little different than I think most reviews. So we're gonna go by segments. The first segment is going to be moments that stood out to us throughout the episode. So we're not gonna go through the entire episode and talk about what happened. You watched the show, so you probably know what happened. But we're also going to talk about our fave of the week, our least favorite of the week, our shade, our messy moment of the week, our look of the week, and then our reality rewind. So, stay tuned with us for the fave of the week and all the way to the reality rewind. And now we're going to talk about our favorite moments. What was a moment that stood out to you?
The first moment that kind of like struck me, honestly, the addition of the new cast members. I kind of just said that the drama kind of overshadowed them, but I like the addition to the cast like this season. Like the cast members or the new additions seem more level-headed. Right. Actually about branding themselves and promoting their brand and actually getting out there and saying, hey, I'm a rapper, or I do hair, I sing. So I feel like the new addition was definitely a positive. Yes. Because they didn't come on like, I'm this nigga or I'm that bitch. Right. Or everybody seems very humble and like really just positive and level-headed. So
They seem really down to earth.
Yes.
Like, you know, like they know what show they're on, but they also know that this is an opportunity.
Right.
Which is so crazy. Right. I feel like maybe they do, and they're just thinking 2 steps ahead of me, but it just seems like some people on this show don't realize the platform that they have. Like, I feel like Ja and what's the production?
Oh, Jesus.
I just feel like he gives them this platform, and I feel like I don't want to say they take it for granted, but I just feel like they don't realize how, you know, like how many people watch the show and how you can really come up off of it. So,
what was a moment that stood out to you, or that made your jaw like?
Well, I'm gonna go with Charlie's performance. It was just a whole mood. Like, the whole night was just very, very interesting. Yeah. First of all, shout out to him for being able to host something, showing his talent, you know, getting all that together. And I think last season he said that he, I don't know if this is still true, but he handles a lot of the stuff that he does on his own. Yeah. So he's like his own manager. So I'm assuming he's the one booking, you know, booked the event, you know, did all this stuff, got everybody to come around. Right, which is, which I'm sure is stressful. So, but I say all that to say that there were definitely some funny moments, just because. Okay, so this outfit, y'all. Like, I know so many people are probably winning on this outfit. I've heard so many variations, but he has an eclectic style. Yeah. And I feel like it's a little too gaudy for my taste. His outfit was like it was like a gay Power Ranger. Like, I feel like that, like
gay Power Ranger / figure skater.
Yes. Like, he could be a villain. Yeah. Like,
cat suit with the cat tail.
Right. So,
bedazzled cat suit with the cat tail.
And then also I'm like, this venue looks interesting. I'm like, where is this? like is this in a I'm like, is this in an abandoned like high school? Like, why? Like, it just looked very like
run down.
It looked
abandoned,
creative. Let's say that it looked very creative. So then his shade with like Tramiel and like Delicious was very interesting. I feel like they were having like a fake bitch off.
Yeah. It's just, like, come to the event to be supportive. If you really don't care for somebody, just keep it moving. Right. They didn't need the whole moment of them not really getting anywhere. Right. It was just throwing shade back and forth. Like,
yeah, and then I'm like, well, Shirai, why did you come? Right. Like, why did you come, Shirai? Like, he's like, I'm not really cool with Charlie, but the producer said that he was having an event, so I came. And I'm like, what was it like? Did you come to like reconcile? Did you come to see if I don't know? Like, I was just confused. But yeah, it was weird. Like,
yeah, it definitely was.
But I feel like the performance was good. I feel like he should have maybe had dancers or something. Like his performance was alright. I just feel like he needed something to like push it up. So what's your?
He could have had like a. Kind of like a small routine himself, just at least to like one of the songs.
Some choreography, some voguing or something. I don't know, but so what was your next favorite moment?
The next moment that stood out to me was Akeem's eyebrow tutorial. He opened the scene giving a demonstration on his eyebrows.
No,
I was like, this is my thing. I feel like the cast was shady and production was also shady. Because they added shots that, like, they knew...
Well, you know production gonna be shady.
We're gonna get like, for. Like, him opening his scene during his eyebrows is just like, really? Like, Akeem, out of all people, you know, doing his eyebrows?
They have gotten a little better.
A little better.
Progress.
I give him that.
Yeah.
But I was just like, okay, like...
yeah,
I wouldn't take that advice, but okay.
They still look, like, super drawn on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know that, like, guys did that. I mean, do what you want, but I always thought, like, drag queens and, like, I don't even think women really do that anymore. I feel like it's just drag queens that do that. But, hey, to each his own. Like, when I saw him, like, doing his eyebrows, I was like, well, he's in on the joke, obviously. Yeah. If he's doing his eyebrows, so.
Right.
But yeah, my moment, another moment for me was Akeem and Devon in this meetup. First of all, I feel like it was cool that they were able to squash their differences. Yeah. They had beef on a previous show, so it was cool to see them come together, I guess. But they came together to to read everybody else like.
They basically came together to start a war. Shout out to Margot, but.
Yes, they came together to just like rip everybody else apart.
Nuts. It was kind of like, I don't know, just dropping like a cute little rabbit into like a lion's den. Yeah. It was just that was a shade fest I wasn't expecting. Like, they went down the line and read everybody. Yeah. Like, I want to ask you a question. Who do you think got the worst read from Akeem and Devon?
No, Yin. You already know. You already know. Like,
don't call me Yin.
Don't call me Yin. No, but like, definitely Charlie. Like, listen, once you say my pussy stank, it's over. Once you say that, it's like, and then you make up a line off of my line. God, like, no. Like
skunk, pussy skunk.
Oh my god! I was like, he was. What did he say? He was like, they say mama pussy stank. I was like,
he just got right. To
the way point. He said it though, and he was so like. I think that was the funniest part about the reading session was that it was so casual. Right. Like, it's almost like your aunties that like. Are like talking shit, but it's very casual to them. Like, it's just like, girl, you know so and so grandson, blah 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 blah. You know you ain't hear from me, blah 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 blah. Like, I was like, dang, y'all just gonna like effortlessly read them like that. But yes, and then shout out to Tramel because they were like, what did Akeem say about him? He was like,
he overindulgent,
and he was like, with that mouth, he shouldn't be overindulgent. I was like. Oh my god!
That was
they got them together.
Yeah, that was so crazy. Like, that was so chaotic. Not even chaotic. It was just she was nuts.
Yeah, I was just nuts. Like, what did he say? Fiji more like muddy waters. I was like, Akeem better come through with these reads and the shade. Like,
yeah, they served the girls.
Yeah, I was like. I was speechless because I was like, damn, I didn't even know. I mean, Atlanta's, I'm assuming people know each other. Like, Atlanta's kind of small. Right. And I mean, not small, but people know each other, I'm sure. But, like, I didn't know that Devon even really knew them enough to have, you know, like a thought or, you know, about them. Yeah. So, it was just crazy. And then especially knowing him, like, on Chasing Atlanta, he was more like laid back. Like, he would comfort people, but he wasn't like the aggressor. He was more of like, you come for me, I'm gonna respond, I guess. But to see him like coming for people right off the bat, I was like, oh shit. I'm ready to see how Charlie responds.
Right, me too.
Because Charlie hasn't really had anybody come for him like that, and I think Devon is the one. Yeah. Devon will.
He seems like it.
Yes, Devon will get with you verbally, and he will also get with you with them hands. But we know she calls the cops, so it's fine. We know that's not gonna happen.
Word on the street is that she calls the cops.
She calls the cops. True white woman. White woman in trouble. But was that all your?
Oh, my final moment, the moment that actually just made my jaw hit the floor, was Akeem and Zion's studio shakedown.
Oh my god,
the studio session.
That shit went left.
It went left so fast, and it went so far left. Like, I really thought it was going to start as like a civil, friendly conversation. Right. And then Akeem threw shade, and it just went all the way. Like, it went from like, we went to church together. I knew you when you was a dancer.
Oh my god.
We slept together. We didn't sleep together. It was just
you met my mama.
Yes.
I was just like,
I to meet my mom, and it was just so much going on in that conversation. Like, yeah, it was a lot to take in.
I was so confused at how they even got there. Like, it was just so.
Right.
I feel like. No shade to Akeem, but I feel like sometimes when he's talking, I zone out. Yeah. So, like, when I came to, he was just like, you slept with like blah blah, like the dick wasn't that good, and then he's like, you a lie. I was like, oh shit. So what do you think? Do you think they knocked boots?
I think they smashed, and I think Zion was upset that Akeem like put it out there. Like Zion doesn't want to claim Akeem.
Do you think he doesn't want to claim him because he's DL, or
I don't think. I think he just doesn't want to claim Akeem because it's Akeem.
I was gonna say because not in them slides. He couldn't have been DL. Because as soon as he was like, you're a choir boy, or no, he was like, you're a church boy. He was like, I'll always be a church boy. And I like looked down at his shoes and I was like, you're right. You're right.
On the first slides, people.
I was like,
the
listen.
Gucci slides.
Them Gucci slides tell a story. They identify you. It's like a name tag.
Yes.
Like.
Yes.
But yeah, my last favorite moment was Redrick's intro. So Redrick being one of the two new cast members. There's two, right? Just two. Three. We haven't seen one yet. Well, we haven't seen 4. Yeah.
And
Roman, right? Okay, so 4 new cast members. One of them being Redrick. And yeah, I just feel like he had a really dope entrance. He just seems very interesting.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but if y'all saw my face after that comment, it's almost because I called him Romance. So I was thinking it's like Romance. No, it was Roman. So Roman is the 4th new cast member.
No, Romance.
So
oh my god.
I was thinking like Romance. No, it's Roman. So yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah. Sorry to cut you off.
Okay, so yeah, Redrick had a really good entrance. He just seemed very confident. I feel like it's always a good sign when you see someone doing like what they, you know, their trade or their talent, like, you know, their first scene. So I thought that was really cool. He just seems really confident and really down to earth. And I feel like people on this show, it's like they don't. Not everybody, but I feel like it's hard for them to balance confidence with like
arrogance.
Yeah, and I feel like he rears confidence well. Like, I feel like just like in the way he talks, in the way he presents himself, is you good? Oh, okay. I told you it was sheep. I told you it was, it may not go down smooth. Like,
that's probably from almost calling Roman. But yeah, Redrick just exudes confidence.
Yes.
Like, I feel people like that, they know where they are in life. They don't have to use, like, they don't have to bring anybody else down. Like, I know where I'm at in life. I know where I'm going. Right. I don't have to, like, shade anybody else or bring anybody else down to, like, make myself feel better. Right. So I love his energy. Like, his aura, his presence is just really positive. Really positive and mature.
Yeah, and I like how he spoke on, you know, especially him being like very femme, very high femme, you know, the hair, the nails, the makeup. I just thought it was, really cool to have somebody that seems more cemented in who they are, I guess, and like more confident, I guess, and to look like that and be as confident and grounded as he is. So, yeah, and I also like how he talked about, you know, his connection with his mom. I think that's something that a lot of people can, like, you know, resonate with, I guess, or that would resonate with a lot of people. And, yeah, I also like how he kind of spoke on, I guess, the King's past comments, you know, toward someone else who considers themselves androgynous. Yeah. So.
It was ignorant. Like, if you watched last season, you know the comment, but. Yeah. Excuse me, I don't want to go too much into it, or excuse me, I don't want to go back too much into like the past season, but it was an ignorant comment, right? Especially for somebody his age, it should have been something that never rolled off his tongue. But I'm pretty sure if he crosses Redrick, he found the right one, right? Like, thought he found the right one with Milan, but I feel like Redrick just might flat out pop him in his mouth. He said some dumb shit.
I feel like Redrick would just read him. Yeah. Because I feel like Redrick feels like he's the type of person that seems like
I have too much to lose.
Right. Yeah. He has something going for himself. So, yeah. Yeah. Any more? I think we went through all of our moments. Yeah. So, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back with our faves and the shade and the looks and all that messy shit. So we'll be right back. All right, and we're back with our faves and least faves and shade and all that. So, who was your fave of the week?
My fave was actually our guy. Okay. He seems really level-headed so far. He seems really mature. I like that he's kind of like trying to get Charlie away from the drama this season. Yeah. He's basically telling Charlie, like, excuse me, if you're on this platform, brand yourself. Like, make sure people know that you are a musician and artist, and that you aren't known for being messy. So his he seems really mature and level-headed. He also seems really loyal. Yeah. He also seems like a really loyal friend. That's what I like that.
Yeah, I think they definitely have a genuine relationship. Like, I feel like he could have easily brought somebody on here just to because our guy also, I guess, he also has some notoriety. Yeah. Some connections, I guess. So like he could have easily brought somebody on and they're not really friends, but they act like they're friends. Right. But, it's cool to see them have a genuine friendship. So yeah, I don't know. I think from watching the trailer, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sold on our guy. This episode definitely he seemed really cool, and he seemed to have a little bit of a haughtiness about him. But I also feel like when I really thought about it, I was like, well, Akeem is messy as fuck. Akeem does do a lot of bad, so I'm like, maybe he's right. Maybe you shouldn't go, right? So I would, he's pretty cool for this episode. But my favorite is definitely Redrick. I think I kind of talked about that earlier. But he just seems very confident, and I love a confident person. Right. I love somebody who's confident but also down to earth. Right. I feel like that's really cool. I feel like that's kind of like me. I want to be confident, but I also want to be down to earth. Right. I don't want people thinking that I'm shading them or think I'm better than them. Yeah. Approachable. So, and I think it's just interesting because looking at Charlie and just some of the other cast members, there's this air about them. Yeah. And it's just so funny to me because everybody on the show is coming up. Right. And so it's okay, well, you're not at the top. Right. So what happens when you interact with someone that is treating you like you treat people who you think you're, better than?
A lot of people in, even on Love and Hip Hop. Right. People that are basically on the same platform in the same situation, and then they look down on an up-and-coming artist just because they kind of have a little bit of notoriety or a little bit of fan base or other fan base. Right. So,
I'll say this, I know, Charlie was kind of shading Delicious, but let's keep it real. Delicious opened for light-skinned Keisha, who has some notoriety and is on TV, and people know who she is. Right. I'm not saying people don't know who Charlie is, but she opened for light-skinned Keisha. Right. And you had your own show, which was cool. You had your own showcase, your album release. But let's be honest. So everybody's got their own lane, but I wouldn't be so quick to knock other people's down because you don't know what they have. Right. So.
Right. And then I feel like with that, a lot of people also kind of hinder their own bag or stop their own bag because they aren't willing to really negotiate or put themselves out there. Right. I feel like a lot of people don't know how to be vulnerable. Right. And I feel like in some aspects you have to be. You have to kind of be willing to trust people or get to know people. You never know where it could lead your career.
I think that stems from just I feel like everybody, especially in entertainment, I feel like people already think of it as such a cutthroat industry. Yeah. So I feel like people go into it with that mindset. And then I also think just being black and then queer on top of that, you've a lot of us have built this shell or wall, to kind of protect ourselves, which is understandable. But I feel like everything comes with a balance. Right. You got to balance when to be vulnerable versus not being vulnerable. Right. So
I guess you say all that to say that my least fave was Charlie. Yeah, Charlie was my least fave of the episode. Just the unnecessary shade and cattiness for no reason. It was just for what? I get you want to have drama and you want to stir the pot and shit like that, but I just feel I don't know, everything out of your mouth is an insult. There's nothing genuine that really comes out of your mouth unless it's about your talent or our guy.
Yeah.
So like you said, him and Sherrod hit like the fake bitch off. Like that wasn't necessary. Like I don't know. I just don't want everybody to make this season about Sherrod again. Like
true.
That's that.
True. Yeah. He also kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I kind of liked him last season, but I feel like this season it's someone said in the comments, I can't remember their name on YouTube, but like they were like, Charlie's like the mean white girl. Yeah. She's like trying to be the Regina George of the season, and I'm like, it don't work that way. You know, like I feel like you can be shady, light shade is fun, but I feel like you also need to be likable. Yeah. And that goes back to a conversation we had like a couple days ago. Yeah, like everybody wants to be a villain, but I feel like they don't realize that villains are like the popular villains, the villains that really benefit from being a villain are also kind of likable. You know, the Kenya Moores, the Nenes, the who else? The New Yorks, Phaedras, like Phaedras, Natalie Nunns, like they have like a likable quality about them. So you can't just go all negative. You gotta have to balance it out. Right. So, you know, we're here for the shade. Don't get me wrong, but you also need to balance it. And I don't know. I just feel like there's nothing wrong with being confident, and honestly, there's nothing even really wrong with like, I don't know, having your head like being stuck up. I guess. Yeah. But if you're gonna be stuck up, have a reason. Right. And like, if you act stuck up, and I'm looking at you, and I'm like, you don't really have a reason to be stuck up, sis. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like I like Charlie. He has pretty good music, but like to me, I'm like, I don't understand why you're acting so stuck up. You are literally on the same like you're on the same level as these other people. Right. So
like you said earlier, if you're gonna have a bitch attitude or a stuck up attitude, just be prepared to encounter a bigger bitch. Right. Like, you think you're the shit now, you're literally going to encounter somebody who's just going to, like, treat you like a piece of garbage. Yeah. So, hopefully you can dish out, or if you could take what you dish out.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like, he even talked about being, like, an effeminate black gay man. Yeah. Like, that, I feel like that leads itself to humbleness. I'm not saying you have to come in with, like, you know, on your knees, like, you know, begging people, but I just feel like, but then again, I could see people thinking, like, if you are a minority in this industry, you have to be super confident. You have to think that. You have to put on that persona because, you know, people are going to try to play you right off the bat.
But like you said, there's a difference between being confident and just being cocky. Right. Arrogant. I don't think Charlie realizes that, or he hasn't discovered that line yet. Yeah. But sooner or later, he's going to encounter somebody that's just going to be like, oh, you're not as hot as you think you are. Like,
right. But yeah, my least favorite guess.
Okay, so it wasn't Charlie, was it? Eyebrows? Akeem. Sorry, Akeem.
It was Akeem. My favorite drunk uncle. Akeem. I have a love-hate relationship with Akeem. I feel like he is funny at times, but I feel like a lot of it is just him rambling. So I feel like, you have to sieve through all his like ramblings to find the funny shit. And so, I don't know. His personality is just very, very interesting. Yeah. I feel like you either love him or you hate him. But I would say like, I feel like he was my least favorite just because I feel like he's trying to get everybody together. But it seems like in his shading session with Devon, it just seemed like he fell back into just being as messy as he wanted to be. So it's like you're inviting these people, but then you're talking shit about him. Right. I just haven't seen any growth from him. I feel like I was expecting to see that, and he's just same old, same old, same. I mean, he was nice enough to, I guess, try to reconcile with Devon, but aside from that, it's just like the same old, right? Same old rambling, same old lack of substance.
Very true.
I don't know.
He also lacks, I guess, self-awareness.
Definitely.
Especially for like somebody his age, and I know he gets like ragged on all the time about his age, but it's not because he is 40. It's because he's 40. He acts like a 7-year-old. Like
a 3-year-old.
Yeah,
I would argue.
Akeem acts like a toddler.
No, yeah, I agree. Like, I just feel like out of everybody on the show, I feel like he is being dragged, along. Like, he's kind of the one that's lacking out of all of them. Yeah, I just don't see him doing as much as everyone else is doing. And I'm not saying it's a competition. It's not, but I would like to see him. He could be messy, but I just feel like he needs to balance out.
Right, see some growth.
Right.
Like, you can be messy and like have a hustle going on. Have a grind going on. Just don't be on the show being messy. Yeah, and part of me thinks that it's a character because I know that like that happens. Like, people aren't actually how they are. Right. On the show, but I would like caution him. I would like want him to think about like how this will affect him outside of the show. It's like you're playing this character, but what is this character really adding to the show? Right. So you can't be this person forever. And then like even after the show, people are gonna remember you for like, oh, you were messy, or you were just always starting drama. So just use your platform wisely, people. Yeah,
I mean, he can be funny. Don't get me wrong, but especially his whole situation with Zion, it was just very awkward and very like I'm good. Like, that
scene was crazy. It was so fucking left like so fast.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, I'm good. Zion's not claiming it. I'm not either. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that was my least favorite. So what was your shade?
Shit, basically Akeem and Devon's whole shade down.
Right, the whole thing. What was your favorite like piece of shade? What shade really made you clutch your pearls?
Probably when they said Charlie didn't smell too hot. They say Mama Pussy stank.
It kills me every time they say Mama Pussy stank.
Like, damn, because I don't know Charlie, but just from seeing him on the show, he seems like somebody that's really like personal hygiene,
like very really clean, like prissy, very clean, very like,
And then they hit us with the tea that oh boy, it's smelling too hot. I was just like,
that's unfortunate. And then he had on that tight outfit at the at his showcase. And I was just like, yikes. Like,
what was your shitty moment or messy moment of the episode?
The same thing. But my specific thing was what was it? Pussy stank skunk. And that took me all the way out. Like, I felt bad for laughing, but it was
funny.
Yes, like it was just so funny. Like, I'm sure he thought of it on the fly, maybe, but like that shit was just hilarious. Like, pussy stank skunk. What the fuck? Hilarious. And also when Akeem was arguing with Zion, and I guess Zion was saying like, oh, like I wouldn't go for you, and then Akeem was like, what are you trying to say? And then Zion was like, I have standards. This is what I'm trying to say. And I was like,
damn.
I was like, oh my god, please never beg for somebody to acknowledge you as someone that they fucked. Like, please never do that.
Don't, especially not on camera.
If they have amnesia, they have amnesia. You know what happened. Like
don't do it, especially not on camera.
Yeah. Like, also, some honorable mentions when Akeem said that he stood a better chance when he was built like a Porsche, and he like his credit was better and he could have afforded it, but now he's built like a Tonka truck and his credit is bad. So
you still let him smash. So
you still let him smash. That is true.
Still let him smash.
Yes. My favorite thing is when people like smash and they're like, it wasn't good anyway, but you did it, like you kept fucking.
And then you seem pressed because you're arguing about it or you brought it up.
That's true. Like, yeah.
Did you have a favorite look?
My favorite look. Just to let y'all know, our favorite look it doesn't mean that we like the look. Yeah. It just means a look that
very interesting look.
Yes. But my favorite look was probably our guys slithering
with snake print.
Yes. Like
that look made my stomach hurt.
I was just like, this is too much. I don't like print on print.
It's too much print.
Yeah, or like design on design.
Yeah.
Like if it was like if he broke it up, I feel like it would look better. But it was just very like,
if he had the snakeskin jacket and maybe like a black vest underneath it,
or like a white collared shirt, black collared shirt or something. Like
it was just too much print.
Yeah, it was just too much.
I feel like he was gonna start moving like a snake after a while.
Right.
It was too much.
They dress in the same vein as like rappers. You know, like rappers who come from the hood and now they have money. Yeah. And then now they're like, I need to stun on these hoes. Yeah. That's how they dress. It's very like hood rich. I've never had anything. I'm not saying they don't have anything, but like it's very like gaudy and like out there, and it's like, okay, but simplicity, like, you know, you gotta, you know, balance. I feel like that's like literally the theme of this episode is balance. Right. Like, you gotta balance it out. But yeah, that look was, I would rock that look. Maybe
the snakeskin.
Maybe
all snakeskin.
Not all snakes. Oh, just part snake. 50%.
So you should go 50% snake, 50% ostrich.
Yes, 50% boots. I want snakeskin boots, and then I want a snakeskin hat. Do they have snakeskin hats?
They probably do. But then you'll be walking around looking like the Shayla from BTC 16. Remember she made those shoes, the feather on it?
Oh, no, yeah, I do remember.
We don't like aspiring like talent, but
I do remember. Yeah. But birds of a feather clearly flock together because they dress the same.
They do.
And yeah. What was your favorite look?
Well, I kind of have like two, but my main was Tramel's Walking Dead entrance to Charlie's party.
Why are you like this? Like,
why she do this?
Why she do this?
But I like the fit. Don't get me wrong. You know I'm a simple bitch. I like all black with a little color. But his fit and then the lighting from the camera, like, it just gave like luggage bags on top of luggage bags. Like,
we know, Tramel, you're probably working hard. Yeah, it's fine.
He walked into the party looking like he hadn't slept in about 4 days.
Yes.
So I like the fit, and then also his ghoulish look. Sorry.
Not his ghoulish look. Who is he, Casper now?
But yeah,
you called him a ghoul. I'm dead.
We can take that off the record if that's too harsh.
Off the record. It's redacted.
Redacted. Yes, that was my well, that was one look, and then Charlie's look when he went shopping with our guy. Like,
I know he was hot in that first.
Yeah, that Cole looked hot as hell.
I never know, like, okay, so when I watch shows from Atlanta, I never know what season it is. Because, like, two people will meet up, and one person will have on, like, a winter coat, jeans, and, like, some, like, I don't know, some winter boots. Yeah. And then the other person will have on, like, shorts and a tank top. And it's like,
is it spring? Or
is it
like
80 degrees or is it 10 degrees?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah. Okay, so our reality rewind moment. Do you have a reality rewind?
Yes. Can you kind of touched on it earlier? People trying to play the villain roles, but
just so you guys know, like, our reality rewind is just a reference to a past iconic. It doesn't have to be iconic, but just a past reality show moment or, you know, thing that, you know, kind of made us think of the episode. Yeah. Or just something that we want to shout out or
kind of like left an impression on us.
Right.
But mine would be, you touched on it earlier, people playing the not victim, but people wanting to be villains. Yeah. And not having the intellect nor the vocabulary to be the proper villain. Right. Like, you think of villains, I think of like New York. I think of Natalie. I don't really think of Nene so much as a villain, but like Kenya.
Omarosa?
Yeah. Yeah, people who are like more mental, verbal, or whatever, but like I feel like a lot of people come onto these shows and they want to play the villain and they aren't smart enough to play like to have the villain, and then when they do want to antagonize like a cast member, it's somebody who really isn't like, they're somebody who really can't defend themselves. Like, like the first season we literally saw like everybody just attack Sherrod just because he wasn't like gonna retaliate back. So I feel like this season, or like that's not this season, but in general, people play like the villain and they don't have the intellect to be the proper villain. So
I will say that, like I said earlier, like I feel like if you're gonna be a villain, I feel like there's a smart way to play the villain. Like Kenya Moore, for instance, she said some very terrible things. She's done some very terrible things, but at the same time, she still has a fan base. Yeah, because she knows how to be likable, but also be the villain. Right. You know, so
like New York knew how to shake the room.
Right. Like, she's a perfect example. Yeah,
she knew how to make like people uncomfortable, but without going out of her, like, I guess without doing it in like an unnecessary way, without going overboard, without like, she was a bitch, but she was likable. Just I guess because she didn't attack people's appearance, or she didn't do health reads, which are tired as fuck. But New York just basically got you together when she had the intelligence to basically belittle you, right? In a humorous way, like as a viewer. Of course, the person that she was talking to didn't find it funny. Right. But like as a viewer, like she was entertaining. Yeah.
When it comes to like being a villain, I think it's similar to like, it's weird, but it's similar to doing like dark comedy. I feel like some people try to do dark comedy and they think like it just means saying anything that's like offensive, and that's not dark comedy. Like there's a talent to it. There's a way to do it. There's a line you have to like walk, and I feel like that's similar to being a villain on a reality TV show. There's a line you have to walk. You can't just be all like, you know, angry because all you get is death threats. But like if you're a mix, then you know people will like you, people will feel conflicted, you know, it's like it's better. So but I don't think that they think about it that much.
They don't. They weren't in depth like that. They just get on the camera and they aren't conscious of like what they're doing or what they're saying. Just like be aware of what you say. If you're gonna play a villain, just be conscious of what you say, because whatever you say, like, will follow you. Like you've seen it. You say some shit 20 years ago, and it's literally being pulled up to this day. So just be conscious of what you say and what you do.
So who is your favorite villain of any reality TV show?
Oh, I don't think I have a favorite villain. Okay. In general, or just I guess this new school of reality TV shows.
I would just say in general.
I guess in general it would be New York.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna take that back. My favorite villain is actually Stephanie McMahon.
The original reality TV.
The original HBO.
That's really like Quiet as It's Kept. That's T actually, because
Stephanie is the original. Like that girl. Stephanie,
reality TV originated within the wrestling WWE like story arc. Yes, like
Stephanie was the like original like villain.
Okay, Stephanie McMahon or Vicky? Vicky Guerrero, right? Yeah. Vicky Guerrero. I feel like Vicky Guerrero was like, from what like me watching, like my experience watching wrestling, I feel like that was my first like, she's a villain. Yeah. Like she is. Yeah. I'm, you know, like I'm taken aback by her. Yeah. Like that and like maybe Kane. Yes. Like I'm supposed to be scared of him, you know?
I was scared shitless of Kane. Yeah. Yeah, Vicky was funny. Like she had her moments, especially like her whole excuse me movement. Right. But Stephanie just takes the cake. It's far like Stephanie and wrestling and reality TV kind of go hand in hand, they really but they don't. But as like a kid growing up watching wrestling, like Stephanie personified like that villain role. Like you hated her, like you wanted to jump in the ring and snatch her and drag her, like. But Stephanie, my favorite TV villain.
Okay. I would probably say mine is probably. I would say New York. Okay. I would say because I feel like I hated her on her show, but like going back and watching it, I was like, she's hilarious, and like knowing at that point that it wasn't real, like it was just a show, like it was like this girl is hilarious. She's a genius. Her reads are impeccable. That's another thing. She and like I feel like she really set the mold for like that reality TV come up. Because now when you look at Love and Hip Hop or Real Housewives or really any show on MTV, everybody's trying to be that standout character. And I feel like, I mean, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me in the comments. Comment, like, subscribe. But you know, like she was one of the first people to like really like be that standout character on reality TV. And I feel like once that happened, people really started to look and be like, there's something in this. Like I can like really become a household name on this show, you know? So
that's another thing you touched on, like she's intelligent. Like I feel like with the villain, like of course you have to be intelligent, but her clapbacks were just so quick with it. Like she didn't have to think about what she was gonna say. Like if you came for her, she was immediately gonna like come for your neck. So that's what makes her like one of the like best TV villains ever.
Okay. So what I will say, my reality rewind moment is
ooh, back down memory lane. I know where
you
this
already
is
know.
going.
I don't know, because I'm gonna change it up because it just made me think. Okay, so this is the first episode we were introduced to, you know, a couple people, and it just kind of reminded me of Bad Girls Club. Shout out to anybody who loves Bad Girls Club. But it just reminded me of just like seeing the girls kind of come into the show before, no shade, but before BGCT exposed who they were. Like I just enjoyed seeing them, and like there would be times where I would be like, oh, I think I'm gonna like this person, and then I would end up hating them. Or like, ooh, I think I would like hate this person, but then I end up liking them. And to me, it kind of reminded me of this episode where it was like, oh, I thought I was gonna continue to like Charlie, but then he kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Or, you know, oh, like I didn't know, I mean, I didn't think I would hate Redrick, but I just didn't know who he was. And I was like, oh, I really like him, you know? So like, and even Tramel, like I think last season I wasn't really that big of a fan of him, but I feel like this episode he was chill. Is there anybody that like you thought you would like on Bad Girls Club? And like
it's been a lot.
Who's the biggest shocker that you were like, bitch, I cannot believe you are this whack?
The season 11 cast.
Ooh, the whole cast. That's true.
The season 11 cast.
That's
like,
true.
The fact that Oxygen really spent that much time with these girls to put out that whack ass season. Yeah. Like trash.
It was very like, I'm sorry, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about Bad Girls Club for a minute. But just the fact that like, like that whole season was just very like everybody seemed to have the same like thought process. Like everybody seemed to like, if you don't like this girl, basically, if you don't like this girl, I'm gonna find a way to not like this girl. And so it was just very like high school and like, I was just like, why are you jumping in? Like, what is your beef with this girl? You know, like
there wasn't like one likable person like that season. And I guess
I would say Sarah was likable.
Sarah was likable.
I forgot about Sarah. And that's how bad the season was. Sarah was likable. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But like, Sarah was likable, I think. But I feel like, that season, it's just interesting how they cast, because like they don't know how things are gonna play out, you know.
And it's also funny that like back then there were like 7 strangers like walking into a house, but literally within like 2 weeks they'll be like, oh, this is the bitch I'm riding with, like she's my best friend, or this is my girl. I mean, it's cool to like build friendships, but I wouldn't be calling somebody my friend if I only knew them for like 2 weeks.
You know what's crazy is the fact that they would like, because they all came into the house together, how quickly they would form a bond against people that weren't. And like, I mean, obviously you would see it if like they had been in the house for months and a new girl comes in and they're like, oh, you're the new girl. But like, I remember like season 5, like I think what's her name, the blonde, Kristen had came in a day after them, and like they were literally like ready to form a bond against this bitch, and I'm like, y'all have been in the house for 1 day, like you literally don't even know how to spell this girl's name, and you're literally like ready to be like, we're all, you know, we came in together, like, you know, and it's just so funny that like how quickly they form a bond, like
it's funny just because everybody's like, oh, I'm the baddest or I'm a bad girl but they literally get into the house. And like you said, they conform to this one person mentality or this one brain mentality. It's kind of funny how they codepend on somebody else for survival in the house. They're supposed to be like independent.
Yeah. And I feel like, to me, that kind of reminds me of, like, going back to GStatus. It kind of reminds me of, like, everybody trying to come into the house trying to be that bitch. And it's like, you don't just be yourself, you know, because I feel like a lot of people will see through that, you know.
Yeah, I think there was even an episode, season 11, where Natalie told Mylene, like, people will watch this and they will fuck you up if you feel like
that's real.
You're walking around like you're untouchable or jumping people. So
ask Charlie. No shade. Mama calls the police.
That's what we heard. Like, look, what's that post on Instagram that we saying? Something about the news. We just endorse it. This ain't coming from us. We just endorse it. Yeah,
we're just talking about it.
Yeah, we just we just saying what we heard on the streets.
Right. So, but yeah, that was the very first episode of GStatus, episode season 2, episode 1, For the Record. I also want to give just like a couple little notes. I really like the song that they used for the entrance for Charlie. I'm assuming it's called For the Record. Okay. But it was really good. Really good.
Like I said that I was gonna go back and listen to it, and I completely forgot. I'm gonna give it a listen tonight.
It's good. I looked it up because I thought it might be somebody on the show. Weirdly enough, but like it wasn't. But like it's a bop. Like, honestly.
I'm gonna have to get into it. I'm
gonna have to give it a listen. Yeah, that was really good. And yeah, we just want to say, like, great editing. You know, even I just want to say, like, because obviously we're going to be reviewing a lot of like web series. But I just want to say that, like, this show has like really stepped their game up. You know, so
they did.
And of course, it's no shade. It's no reading. If we rip this show apart, we still love this show. Yeah. We're just giving our honest opinions. Right. And even like in our, like, you know, critiques of it, we're hoping that our critiques are in the vein of like hoping that the show gets better. Right. You know, so shout out to Josh, shout out to KL. Yes. You know, shout out to all the people that are attached to the show. And yeah, it's been real. Do you have any like last thoughts?
You know, I always say it. I'm gonna always say it. Shout out to the production teams.
Right. Yeah.
Shout out to the production teams that have the patience to put these shows together and get them like produced and aired on YouTube. Like, this is our very first podcast, so we're just now figuring out how much work goes into editing and audio and the visual aspects. So, like, shout out to the production teams that produce these shows, that have the patience. Like, it's just us. We're working with the equipment, and we about to, like, jump out the fucking window. So, I can't imagine having to work with, like, 8-9 people, film different people.
Big personalities, too.
Yes, working with big, different personalities. Yeah.
You know.
Like, so, shout out to you guys for having the patience to work with different personalities and to get your shows published and edited. Because I know that it takes a lot of work. So just shout out to you guys for just having that hustle and just grinding and just putting out these shows for us to review, because you've essentially just like given us a job. I don't want to sound like that's bragging or boasting, but like, because you edit and like produce these shows, you've given a shitload of people jobs, like to review your shows and become fans of like your work. So thank you for that.
And I'll say this, like, not to cut you off, but I'll say this, like, I enjoy seeing people's stories, and I enjoy seeing people that align with, you know, my identities, right? You know, so like just to see like Black queer people just like do it, even if, I mean, I'm here for the mess, but you know, there are moments where like they really do, you know, show who they are and like shine through, and like there are positive moments, I guess you could say. So like, I will say that, like, I enjoy watching that. Right. And I enjoy seeing myself on screen. Right. You know, as a Black queer person. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. I guess that wraps up everything.
Yeah.
This has been the first episode of Key and Carry.
Yes, Key and Carry, where we key and we carry.
We will always key and we will also carry.
Always. And we to the grave.
Also want to this is for future reference, but shout out to the Come Up production team for
the Come Up production team, the Chasing Reality production team. Slate TV, Blunted Muse. We're trying to, you know, really just kind of review all of those things. Yeah.
We also stole our lingo from the Come Up New York cast. So
yes.
So
yes.
That's technically where the title of the show came from.
We're king and we're carrying.
Yes. So that's it. Thank you for viewing. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, absolutely. So we need a comment question.
Oh yes.
We need a reason for them to comment.
So who were your faves and least faves of the episode?
Yes.
And if you're a fan of the show prior to this season premiere, who were you expecting to come back for the season, and who did you want to just be removed completely from the show?
Right.
So I guess we can answer our own question. Like,
who do you? Okay, go ahead.
I wanted True to come back. Like, I definitely hands down wanted True to come back. I'm blessed. I guess the person who's gone that's who I wanted to be gone. Corday.
Oh,
Corday's
okay.
Gone, so,
okay.
Yeah, I wanted True back, and Corday's gone, so he's gone. That's that.
Who would I have wanted to see back? Okay, so who did you want to be gone?
I wanted Corday gone.
Corday. Oh, and so he's gone. Okay, so I would say I would probably say that I kind of wanted December to come back. I mean, I know he's technically back, but not really. But I think you like watching like interviews with people, you really get to a feel for who they are. And I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like he's interesting. And I feel like, you know, he said that he's been a part of some productions, he's worked on some sets, and I would be interested. And I feel like even aside from him being messy, which is kind of crazy because like I feel like he didn't have to necessarily come on the show and be so rah-rah about it. I feel like he had the smarts and the personality to come on the show and be himself. So I would be interested to see how he would have been if he had come on the show from day one, you know? So, but I would have liked to see him come back just because I don't know. I kind of like December. Like, no, you know, no shade.
He's entertaining.
Yeah, he's entertaining. And I also feel like he has a level of, I don't know. Like, I feel like aside from the shadiness, I feel like he could also add something to the show. You know, he has something to say, I guess. Just watching his reviews. But yeah, and then to go, I would probably say, I mean, don't get me wrong. No shade to Sherrod. I don't mind Sherrod. None of this is personal. Obviously, we don't know y'all. But I would probably say Sherrod. Just because I just don't feel like Sherrod has really stepped his game up. Like, I feel like if you're on season 2, you need to step your game up. Right. That's, you know, that's what it is, you know?
You don't need the same storyline from season 1.
Yeah.
Like, I guess with these shows, we expect growth.
Yeah.
Like, if you were on the
if you're a sophomore, obviously you're not going to come back the next year doing sophomore shit. You're going to be a junior. So do junior shit, you know? Like, so... Basically. But yeah, I mean, not to be hard on them, I'm not, you know, but I just expect a little growth, you know? And we might see that. It's episode 1. Yeah, so. True. But, yeah, that's been episode 1. This is first episode of KII CARRY. It's been real. I just want to say, shout out to KII Couture, who's unfortunately passed. Was a big fan of his, was very cool, was associated with GStatus. But yeah, rest in peace. But look forward to more episodes from us. We're gonna review some other shows. And yeah, look forward to that. So we're just looking forward to being your gay cousins that you can KII CARRY with, you know? So yeah. All right.
Thanks for being here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also, go like, comment, and subscribe to these production pages.
Right. Gemini. Well, not Gemini.
Yeah, Gemini.
Eventually Gemini Films, but also Status TV. So yeah, look that up. But yeah, we'll see you next time. All right, peace.